this is Candy with Eyes to Jesus.blogspot.com, and welcome to my August planner tour. So this is August 11th, so I'm running a little late on it, but I am still bringing this tour to you, and I hope it does bless you. I have been having a lot of fun in my planner. So I did stay in pretty much the same planner and setup for all of July, for one book July. And then for my August planner, I have different size inserts. I am in a different planner cover, and I have new dividers, new dashboards, and a pretty fun setup. So this is going to be exciting to show you. So the planner that I am in for August is this. Now, this is a personal size Moterm Luxe. Now, you might be wondering, how am I in different sized inserts when last month I was in a personal size, and I'm usually in a personal size, and this is a personal size. Well, because I don't have personal size inserts in here, I have Franklin Covey compact size inserts in here. And if you're familiar with Franklin Covey compact size inserts, they are quite a bit wider than your personal inserts. So I'm just going to see if I can bring up a quick example here to show you. Okay, so it's got the same hole and ring configuration, it's just a different width and page. So your standard personal size insert is this right here. And you can see sticking out behind it, this is Franklin Covey size paper. So you can see it's quite a bit wider. So I have the personal size insert over the Franklin Covey compact size, and you can see you have more width. Now, here's the thing. If you take most personal size planner binders and you put in Franklin Covey compact inserts, your tabs are going to stick out. Now, some people like that look, and it is kind of cute, but your tabs are going to get bent, they're going to bang into things, especially if you take your planner everywhere with you like I do. So I did not want my tabs to stick out. Now, if you take Franklin Covey compact size inserts and you put it in a Moterm Luxe planner, Luxe personal planner, your tabs still stick out. But you notice my tabs do not stick out. I did not trim the inserts. So the reason why my tabs don't stick out is because I did a very simple modification. You know, Moterm planners, all of the rings are removable and replaceable. You just need a flathead screwdriver. So I removed the rings that came in this. The Luxe comes with 30mm rings. I removed the 30mm rings and I put in 25mm rings. Just that 5mm difference, perfect. My tabs don't stick out. It fits in there wonderfully. I love it a lot. It's fabulous. I'm not having interference or problems with my pen in the tabs. That also could be just how I naturally set it up. Maybe it just works out for me. But yeah, so I've seen people take, for example, the A6 Moterm Luxes and then cut into the leather because the holes are in a different place because it's different rings, and then adjust it to personal rings so they can put in Franklin Covey Compact. I've seen people put Franklin Covey Compact into the personal Moterm Versas. But if you want a nice small footprint still, and you want to have your Franklin Covey compact inserts, in my opinion, the easiest way and the way to get the nicest footprint is to go ahead and take a Moterm Luxe personal, because the Luxes are a bit wider than the regular personal to allow for the larger rings they come with, and just remove the 30mm rings and put in 25mm rings, and boom, you've got it. So as you can see, I have got the new color olive. And I talked about in last month's video that they weren't shipping olive to the U.S. I don't know if that was a glitch or if it was available to other countries first, but I kept checking, and then eventually it said that it would ship to the U.S. So the second I saw that, I got this when there was only 7 left in stock. And I love the olive. I think this is just so pretty and unique. Now, going inside. So, front pockets. And these card slots here, it's just all decorative. This journaling card, so sweet, that's what my husband calls me. And then I have a little ollie clip here, and it's kind of decorative, but if I need to clip something, I can use this clip if I need to. And then these 3 card slots here, I just have some trimmed down journaling cards that I thought that were cute. And then in this little side pocket here, I just have some journaling cards, some notes, and this handy dandy card that I got from Franklin Planner on free online training. So I just pop that in there. And then in the zipper pocket, I just keep some change. And then in this secretarial flap here, I have this laminated decorative scrapbook paper sticking out, and also back here is where I keep some spending cash. Now, the first page in my planner is my welcome page, dashboard, whatever you would like to call it. It also serves as a front page lifter, and that is this. And this is laminated scrapbook paper. I got a pink theme going in here, and I like the pink and the olive. I think it's really neat. And then I just have a journaling card adhered here. I got another ollie clip, a larger one than the small one here, in case I need to clip anything to the front or anywhere else in my planner. And the Luxes do come with a fly leaf that has more card slots and an additional pen loop on it. But because I had to go down to 25mm rings, I couldn't justify using the fly leaf. That would take up room in the rings. When I use 30mm rings, I can use the fly leaf. Anything under 30mm rings, I don't use the fly leaves. Alright, so that means I only have one pen loop in here instead of two. So I have my main pen in the back pen loop. My secondary pen, I just have clipped here on my dashboard. And I just keep a standard ballpoint pen so that bank stuff, filling out deposit slips, writing checks, filling out forms, etc. I have a ballpoint pen. And this is also a pen flashlight, and it puts out a lot of light, and this has come in handy. All right, and then on the other side of my dashboard, I have sticky notes. So I just have the two main sizes I use the most. I think they're both just from Dollar Tree, and they're handy. All right, and then after that, I have a photo page. So on this side, it's a picture from my son's wedding. And then I have a little tab sticking on the top. I'll explain that to you in a moment. But on the other side of my photo page, then we also come to a picture of my husband and I, couple's picture. And that little tab I have on the top of my photo page is because if I grab it and flip it, it brings me to my running grocery list. I keep several sheets of paper here up front. Whenever I run low or out of something, I write it down here. And then the day before I plan to get groceries, that's when I will then go through that list. I will go through my menu plan, and then I will go ahead and rewrite my grocery list in the order of the aisles of the store of which I shop. And that makes shopping a breeze. So yeah, I have several sheets of note paper here for that. And then after those pages, we come to my first homemade divider, which is labeled Home because it is my homemaking section, and it looks like this. And going inside my homemaking section, we have my daily tasks. Now these are my daily cleaning chores, but other tasks like budgeting and paying bills and running errands, etc. So this is my daily tasks page. And then after that, I have my children's chores, and then I have a page where I track any paid chores that they do. And then after that, I have an envelope, and I just keep some money in here to pay out to them every Saturday for any paid chores that they did for that week. And then after that is my children's table chores. And then after that, I have my deep cleaning and organization projects. And then I have my master grocery list, and I just skim through this list when I'm making my grocery list for the week, and this helps remind me if I'm forgetting anything. All right, and then after that, I have breakfast ideas and lunch ideas. And then I have supper ideas. So my breakfast, lunch, and supper ideas all have sides to go along with the main dishes. I usually have 2 suggested sides to go with each main dish. And I use my breakfast, lunch, and supper ideas to help me in making my menu plans for each week. Now on my supper ideas page, the second page here, I have a little flag sticking off the top, and I'll explain to you why that's there in a moment. Meanwhile, the next page is my Thanksgiving and New Year's menus. Now, the reason why I have a little flag sticking up here is because if I flip past that, it brings me to this page, and this is my menus page. So each week, I write down the breakfast, lunch, and supper for each day for that week, and that is my menu page. So that helps me so I can turn to that quickly. All right, and then after that, we come to a table of contents. And then I have a little small side tab sticking up here so I can flip to this quickly. This is the table of contents to my recipes that I keep in my homemaking section. And my pages are numbered, so I have my table of contents, and my recipes are divided into sections. And then each section I alphabetize. I put in ABC order. So if I wanted to, for example, look up my recipe for pizza casserole, well, I know that's a main meal, so I'd see in my table of contents, main meals start on page 7. So then I would turn to page 7, and then it's in alphabetical order. I would flip through until I get to the P's, and then I would find pizza casserole, and there's my recipe. All right, so just to turn to a random spot in recipes, here's what they look like. And that concludes my homemaking section, is recipes. So we come to my next divider, which is labeled school, and this is my homeschooling section. And that divider looks like this. So I am a homeschooling mother of 4. 2 of my children are adults and have graduated, and 2 of my children are in homeschool high school. One doing his last year of homeschool, and the other one in 10th grade. So this is my homeschooling section. And I homeschool my children via the Trivium method. And we also homeschool Monday through Thursday and little to no homeschool on Friday. We homeschool year-round except for the month of July. So we are now have recently begun into our new homeschool year. So, excuse me. So I told you in last month's planner tour that I would give you a bit more of a detailed tour of my homeschool section, since this is now a beginning of a fresh homeschool year being August. So let's get into this. So the very first page in my homeschool section is my homeschool schedule for this academic year. Now in my homeschool schedule, I have a first column is just called doing. And then I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So, for example, under doing, before breakfast, I have under Monday through Thursday, that's when the kids can do their silent Bible reading. Then during breakfast, I have it on Monday through Thursdays when we do our devotional. And then after breakfast, I have assignments or school that we work on together for each day of the week, Monday through Thursday. And then after that, I have a section called Assign. And those are assignments I give to them that are listed up for each day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then while I'm exercising, that's when they work on their chores and their assignments. And then after our lunchtime, we get into our afternoon school and what we are doing. So this is our current homeschool schedule and which assignments and which subjects we do on which days. So this is my first page, my homeschool section, because it's a nice quick reference. Now the next 2 pages after that is my course of study or curriculum chart for my children. And what I have here is the first column is subjects, so that's the subjects that we are teaching for the year. The second column is when, and under when, it's like, okay, is this a subject we're teaching Monday through Thursday, or is this a subject we only teach on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Mondays and Wednesdays? For example, math under when, well, that's Monday through Thursday. We do that each day. But science is Tuesdays and Thursdays, and history is Mondays and Wednesdays. So that's what the when is. The third column is labeled books and info. So that lists which books I'm using with which child, and then any other information or notes we need. Like under grammar, writing, and spelling, that's under subjects, and then under when, that's for Mondays and Wednesdays. So then I have under books and info, 12th grade. My 12th grader is using Christian Liberty Press, Applications of Grammar, Book 6. And then under 10th grade, my 10th grader is using Christian Liberty Press, Applications of Grammar, Book 4. And then under spelling, we're using graded spelling lists. And that's for all the way through. That's on the public domain, by the way. So that's what I have under books and info for grammar, writing, and spelling. So when I'm setting up for a new homeschool year, this is the first chart I set up before I set anything else up. I decide, okay, well, what are the subjects we're going over for the year? I put them in the column. And then after that, it's like, okay, which days are we going to do which subjects, and which subjects are we doing every day? And then in the next column is when I determine what books we're going to use. I don't never have bought any pre-packaged curriculum. So you saw that for grammar and writing, we are using Christian Liberty Press. Sometimes in years past, we've used Bob Jones University or Abeka, etc. What I do is I research search what is available, and then I choose which best fits the trivium method for us and best fits my teaching style and my children's learning style and fits into our homeschool. So lately, a lot of that's been in recent years has been stuff mostly from Abeka and Christian Liberty Press and some curricula that I have written that we have used. For example, I have a cursive, and I do have a cursive penmanship book up for free for anyone who would like to use that in their homeschool. It is in the right-hand sidebar on my website at eyes2jesus.blogspot.com. In case that is something you would be interested in for your children. So now we move on to the next page. Next page is reading lists. So I only have 2 columns now because I only have 2 children left in homeschool. The other 2 have graduated. And the reading lists, I decide those based off of some other important things that I would like them to learn or delve into deeper or study or character development or that intertwines with some of the topics in their subjects that they are learning for that year. So the reading lists can be significantly different each year. It just basically depends on their age and what I'm specifically trying to teach them right now. Like, for example, my 12th grader is currently reading Brave New World. And my 10th grader is currently reading 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Okay, so after reading lists, I have my list of copywork assignments. Now, most of the copywork is scriptures, but I also have some worksheets inserted in here that we come to. For example, labeling a continent's map or labeling a map of the United States, their states and their capitals, and then just review of things that they should already have memorized, such as all of the family's phone numbers, reviewing again, writing their name, signing your name in cursive. I also have anatomy pages that occasionally will come up and other geography pages that will also come up. So I just have these things interspersed in here. For example, today's copywork assignment was the continents map, where I just printed out blank continents and then they just had to label the continents. All right, but like Monday's copywork assignment was James chapter 3, verses 17 through 18. So this is us where I keep their copywork assignments list. And then after that, I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday school. So here's Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday. And this is just kind of a zooming in on specifically what we're working on during the day. And they're grouped out. We have, up here is more of my early morning, and then more of my morning, late morning, afternoon, evening. So that's just for me. This is a quick reference. When I'm setting up homeschool for the next day or the next week, I will turn to that day that I'm setting up for, and then this helps keep me on track and reminds me what I need to set up. So it's not just a list of the subjects, but it's also notes on, okay, well, how many sections do we do? For example, both Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do Latin. So then next to Latin, I have written down 1 lesson, and that they need to translate 3 or more sentences, and then they also need to write their Latin words and Latin notes into their notebooks. So that's my note for Latin, for example. And then after that, I just have some note paper for if or when we work on any special projects in school, I write it down there. All right, my next section in my home management binder / planner / life planner is budget. That's pretty self-explanatory. It is my budgeting section. So the very first page in here is my budget guide, and I have a square divided into 4 quadrants, and each quadrant is for 1 check, so that each check is then I assign to each check what reoccurring expenses or bills we pay on which check. So I just reference this when I work on the budget. And then after that, I just have filler paper for the budget. I just write the date of the check that I'm budgeting for at the top of the page. Then I look at my quadrants on my budget guide for which check that is of the month. I write down the reoccurring expenses and bills that I assign to that check for the month. I then flip to my monthly calendar and I look at what's coming up during that check, birthday parties, dentist, things like that. And then I will write those in there as well. And then I just keep a running total of, okay, this is how much money we actually will have in the bank after all of these things clear on that check. All right, and then my next divider is labeled reference, and it looks like this. Now, the pages in my reference section are numbered. So the very first page in my reference section is my table of contents. So the sections in my reference section are gift ideas, stock list, perpetual calendar, codes, family information, directions, contacts, health, and food. And so these are just some notes that I reference regularly, so I have them in my reference section. Now my next divider is labeled assorted, and it looks like this. And assorted, the first part of assorted is just notes, chicken scratch, ideas, projects I'm figuring out. Basically, it's a brain dump. And then after that, I just have some extra blank filler paper so that whenever I need to add any more filler paper or use more for brain dump or add any more to groceries, budget, homeschool, or wherever, this is where I keep extra filler paper. So then when I run lower out of this filler paper, then I just stick some more in so that I always have some with me. Now my last homemade divider is labeled planning, and it looks like this. So clearly this is where we get more into the planner portion and more into the planner inserts. All right, so the very first page in here is kind of the intro page to the inserts that I am using. I am using Franklin Covey compact size sandstone inserts. So that's the intro page, and if you know me, you know I never fill these out, so that will always be blank. And I have this in here because the other side has year at a glance for 2021 and 2022. And then I just have the planner guide that came with the sandstone inserts. I like to keep it in here, especially because the other side has a productivity pyramid, which I always thought was really cool. Okay, now some other things that came with the sandstone inserts that I'm not using in here, I'm just going to show you really quick. It comes with a page finder that has a little clear plastic pocket on the front so you can stick things inside the page finder. And they call that the Compass Page Finder. I'm currently not using that. I'm using my Lux Productivity Pro Page Finder. I like that one better. So that's the one I'm using. But that comes with a whole bunch of compass cards so that if you do use that page finder, then you have some info you can fill out here to keep inside there. Or if you want to do your own thing, the other side is notes. And so, yeah, this is perforated here so that you can rip off the holes, and then perforated here so you can rip it in half because these are 2 compass cards. And the reason why these even have holes is so that you can keep extra compass cards in the back of your planner. And then like about each week or so, you'd want to fill out a new compass card if you like to follow those. And the compass cards, I do not have my reading glasses on, are divided up into some pretty cool sections that I cannot see, and I'm not going to get my reading glasses. Okay, so some other things that come with it is I'm just going to show you the dividers. The sandstone inserts do come with dividers, so if you don't want to make your own dividers, you can use the dividers that come with it. All right, and so the dividers. The very first divider is labeled planning calendars, and you do get planning calendars. In fact, I believe you can even plan out 5 years in advance with all the planning calendars you get. The next divider is planner guide, and you do get the planner guide that you can put in there behind that. The next divider is values and mission, which are some values and mission worksheets that you can put behind that tab. And then the next tab is goals, and you do have goals paperwork that you can put behind that tab to help you come up with your goals and write them down. The next divider is labeled finances, and you are given budgeting sheets. So if you want to use a budgeting insert and not just write it out on filler paper like I do, the sandstone inserts in both their compact size and their classic size do come with budgeting sheets. All right, and then the next one is key information. There's some other information, mileage charts, and a whole bunch of other little random doodads. So that's what we put behind there. And then you have a tab, and this is special to Sandstone and only a few of the other inserts of Franklin Covey sells. It's called the 7 Habits, and this is a section. It reviews and summarizes the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it kind of reminds you of the key things from the book. And I do have the 7 Habits section in my planner that I will get to and show you in a little bit. All right, but I'm not using the divider because I don't have it in the rings. All right, and then after that you have 4 numbered dividers, 1, 2, 3, 4, where you can make whatever other sections you personally need that don't fall under any of these tabs. And then your last tab is phone and address, and they do provide you with phone and address inserts. So You know, I'll probably eventually put some of those inserts in and use them, but for right now, I'm just happy with what I've been using. And I have the Sandstone Franklin Covey compact size inserts. I got the ones that are day on 2 pages. So it was a pretty thick pile that you get in the mail. All right. And I got the academic year, so I did miss the month of July, but other than that, you know, I've started this one in August. Okay, so I do have all of the months in here. I have 12 months in here of the academic year in here of month on 2 pages. So if we flip to August, here's what the front of the August divider looks like. Now, the tiny writing at the top, it says date, and then it says index important information recorded on this month's daily or weekly notes. So if you have something important from that day on your daily pages that you need to possibly reference or go back to, like maybe you want to track dentist appointments or things like that, then you have the notes and details written about it on your notes page for that day, and then you would just come over here and you'd write down that date and just a quick one-line summary of what it is, so that if you need to reference those notes at a future time, you can come to this index. You just have to look up the summary and go, oh, that's the date it's on, and then you can go ahead and turn to that date's page and look at that day's notes. Okay, now, some people think this is redundant, but this is a handy redundancy. Now, you also have this same page at the very beginning of each month. So I have that page at the beginning of my month on 2 pages, but I also have the same page at the beginning of that month's day on 2 pages. The same page. So then you would record it at the beginning of your day on 2 pages for the month, and you would also record it on the first page of your month on 2 pages. You put it in 2 places. Why? Well, because the monthlies you're probably going to keep in your planner for the whole year. So that's how you reference it in your planner. All right, but the dailies, you're probably not going to want to try to fit all of your dailies into a planner at once, or you're going to need a minimum of 2-inch rings, and you wouldn't be able to put much anything else in there except for those. I keep 1 month of day on 2 pages at a time. Some people, if they have less content in their planner, they can keep 3 months at a time. Okay, so the reason being, so when you take out your day on 2 pages and you put them in like your archive binder, then you have a record of your summaries at the front of that page in your archive binder, but you also have the record of the summaries on the front page of your month on 2 pages, which is still in your binder. So you can reference it in 2 places depending on where you're at and what you have handy. So that's why that redundancy is there. So, month on 2 pages, this is my August. So let me flip to a more kind of blankish one. I don't have very many blank. I don't have any blanks. So this is the blankest one, and you can see what the month on 2 pages sandstone looks like. All right, and then on my month on 2 pages, I don't just record appointments on there. I also write down reoccurring things such as our trash day. Otherwise, I will forget to drag out the trash can. So simple things like that to help me out. I will track health things, any illnesses that I have on the monthly with little letter codes that I know what they mean. I track my menstruation here with little letter codes. I track headaches, and that way I can correlate with the menstruation that I've tracked if the headache is hormone related or if not. And then if it's not, then I need to look at, is it sinuses, is it dehydration, is it stress, etc. So I will track various things on here. And then in the little sidebar on the monthly, I just write down cycle information, days of menstruation, etc. And this is very handy. I've done this for years, but this is even more important to do at my point in life where I am in perimenopause. Okay, so now we move on to my today marker. Recall, I am not using the Franklin Covey Compass page finder. I am just using a Lux Productivity Pro page finder. I like them. They're sturdy, they're clear, they have inches and centimeters on them. And I just have a little sticky note stuck on there, which if I was using the Compass page finder, I could just write this stuff on the notes page on the back of the Compass card and stick that in the page finder if I wanted to. But I'm happy with this so far. All right, so here is day 1 of day on 2 pages that I have for today, and my page finder. And then I have my master schedule, which is updated for this new academic homeschool year. And then I have a tab on the top of my master schedule. The only function for that is it makes it easier to turn it fast. So I can flip it fast and get to my second page. All right, and then on the other side, I just have my exact same master schedule. It's identical on both sides, so I can see my master schedule regardless of which page I am looking at in my planner. Now, let me flip ahead to a blank day on 2 pages so you can see what these look like. They look like this. Aren't they gorgeous? So on your day on 2 pages in the sandstone inserts, you have this column. This is where you write your tasks and to-dos, and it's divided into 3 sections. So if you're used to being a vertical planner, like with Vertical Happy Planner or Vertical Erin Condren, then you might want to use these 3 sections as morning, afternoon, and evening, or morning, afternoon, and night, right? But you can label them whatever you want. Sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. Most of the time I end up with the top being personal, the middle being home, and the bottom being appointments and timed things. And then your next column, this is your appointment schedule. So this is where you write down things that you want done at a specific time. So if I have a specific appointment I need to go to, I would write that down here. I usually write a skeleton schedule on here on normal days, where I'll write down my morning routine, my breakfast, when we were going to be starting homeschool, when we're going to have lunch, when we're going to start into afternoon homeschool, when I need to do my evening routine, which also includes checking homeschool and setting up the next day's homeschool, and when we're going to have supper, and when I want to start my before bed routine. And then that'll be my skeleton schedule that my master schedule fills in, which I always have written right here, so I never have to be too redundant and write it down again. All right. And then at the bottom of your sandstone one, you always get a quote from the 7 Habits book. And then we move on to the second page, where we have little calendars at the top. All right, and then this is called daily notes. And then at the bottom of daily notes, you always have some type of inspirational quote from various people that you can read at the bottom. Now, what I do with my daily notes is at the top, I write down our breakfast, lunches, and suppers planned for that day. I'll reference my menu in my homemaking section to do that. And then also write down any notes if there's any food preps I need to do for future meals the next day or later that week. And then after that, I write down my cleaning chores for the day that I get from my daily tasks page in my homemaking section. And then I write down the children's cleaning chores for the day, which I also get from my children's chores section in my homemaking section. Okay, and then at the bottom is where I do my tracking, because the sandstone inserts, they don't have a space for tracking like a lot of the other Franklin Covey inserts do. So I just do my tracking at the bottom. And then this area here is for notes or food journaling, because sometimes I food journal, so I have some space there for that. All right, now another thing I want to show you really quick before we continue on is back on the appointment schedule on page 1. You have little shaded boxes at the end. That's handy so that if you want to check things off in your appointment schedule, you can. Most of the time I don't, but I did one day this month so far because I needed it, because it was a very different day. I had to actually write out a whole schedule for that day, as I couldn't follow my master schedule for that day. And then it was easier if I just checked each thing off as it happened on that schedule, and that helped me see more quickly where I'm at and what was the next thing to do. Okay, and then also on your tasks list at the top, you have your typical little chart for the different types of bullets and checking off, and then your ABC priorities. And these are all explained how to use this in the planner guide that comes with the sandstone inserts. All right, and then on daily notes, you have a shaded area here, which you can use to check things off. I usually use it for little labels like BLD or BLS for breakfast, lunch, and supper when I'm writing down my meals. Okay, so like I said, I keep 1 month of day on 2 pages in here. So after that, when I flip past all of those day on 2 pages, my next page is just some filler paper, and at the top I have it labeled Future Planning 2022 Plus. So that's where I write my future planning. Now, the sandstone inserts do come with future planning pages. So not only do you have your current year or academic year month on 2 pages, but then it also comes with month on 1 page for all of next year, and then it comes with smaller calendars that I think go up to, if I recall, I want to say 5 years in advance. So you could use that. Now that takes up too much room in my rings, and I don't need all that paper. My Future Planning 2022 Plus, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 things in here for 2022, 1 thing in here for 2023, and 1 thing in here for 2029. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things on that page. So I don't need all those planning calendars. I just need a sheet of paper. So I just write it on that. And then after that, I have 3 envelopes, and they each have a different colored dot on it. This is for when I need to file specific things and papers in my planner. That's what those are for. After that, I have a zipper pocket. I just keep various different doodads on there. On the other side are some appointment cards, so I'm not going to show you that because they're showing through so that I can see them. And then after that, I have a 3-card credit card holder. So I'll flip to the back side of that. I just have some extra papers, cards, and doodads in there. And then I have a back page lifter where I keep just extra flags, tabs, and labels. And some of them have labeled reoccurring things on there that I stick in my master schedule when applicable or when needed. And then after that, we come to my back pockets. Now, in this back secretarial flap, that's where I have the 7 habits inserts. I haven't finished reading through it all yet, so I'm keeping them in here. And I might always just keep them in here because that is a nice, fun read. So if I'm sitting waiting for an appointment, I might get these out and reread a few pages, for example. Okay, and then this next flap pocket, because there's 3 flap pockets in the back. What do I have in there? Oh, I just have some blank checks. And then the next flap pocket, I have some withdrawal and deposit slips for my bank and some postage stamps. And then after that, I just have some of my cards that I use the most. I have a washi card, and then I have Avery dots, Avery whole reinforcement stickers, and Avery labels here that I use. And then we got the big back pocket, which I love because I can take a regular letter size sheet of paper, fold it in half once, and it fits back there. So I have some Bible study notes and a few bills that are still waiting to be paid. And then my pen here in the back, I'm using a pink pen because I'm enjoying it, kind of going with kind of the pink undertones of the sandstone inserts. And this is a Pilot G2 07 pen. And I like how it writes, and I love the pink. I ran out of ink in my last pink one because I was using it a lot. So I just got this one when I got groceries. And it was a multicolor pack, a small one, but it was on rollback at Walmart, so I'm fine with buying it, even if I just bought it for the pink pen. So this concludes my planner tour and my planner setup. Again, I was able to fit Franklin Covey compact size inserts in a Moterm personal size Luxe by removing the 30mm rings and putting in 25mm rings. The rings are removable. You just need to use a flathead screwdriver. Have a blessed day.